Next, from Millennium Park in Chicago, our contributing correspondent Sharon Meyers shows us some of the latest trends in food and wine and why Chicago remains one of the best restaurant cities in America as she visits this year's Chicago Gourmet Festival. This runs about 10 minutes.
We're here in Chicago at Millennium Park for the 3rd annual Chicago Gourmet's Food and Wine event, this year presented by Bon Appetit magazine. You've been here 2 out of 3 years for Chicago Gourmets.
Yes.
What's important for Elaine Omad to be here and participating at this show?
Well, for one, it's just great to be in a city that has, all of the tents. I mean, look at in the major city, you have all the chefs come together, and I think it's great to be a part of an organization like that.
And in this pavilion now, this is a new concept. What do you think about this pavilion idea?
I think it's great. You can't go wrong when you get a whole bunch of people together in one area, and you serve them great food, and you serve them wonderful wines from around the country and the world. You can't go wrong.
The lamb is good.
Did you have the table?
Here from Los Angeles for this show.
I am every year. I won't miss it for the world. I love it.
And why is this important to be here today?
You know, it's a good event about food and wine. So wherever there is good food, good wine, I'm here. I'm teaming up with Santa Margherita and Terlato Wine International. We are doing demos. We did the greatest challenge contest. We're just having fun. It's food and wine. It has to be fun.
You see a nice connection between Los Angeles and Chicago. What's going on in food and beverage in both cities?
Well, there is a lot of restaurant here, owners of restaurant here that they're there and vice versa. I would love to do a restaurant here. I'm planning on doing one next year. We'll see how it goes. I love Chicago. It's a beautiful city. I wish I was splitting my time between here and LA. Unfortunately, for now, I'm more in LA than here, but
Next year that'll change.
Next year eventually it'll change.
The Chicago Gourmet is a great celebration of the restaurants and wines selection that we have, and it's just a great day to do it.
With our she doesn't have to drink that skunk stuff anymore. Thank you. Cheers. Cheers. Stella.
It's the first time you've been at Chicago Gourmets. Tell me about this cool T-shirt and what Young Passion is all about.
Well, I'm Dominique Leach and this is Samantha Katz. This T-shirt is to represent Young Passion, a calendar I'm launching on November 26th. The concept is for 12 young chefs to pose for seasonal dishes in the calendar to represent their talent and promote themselves.
So give me an idea of some of the chefs that you're including in this calendar.
Myself, Samantha Katz. We're also promoting a lot of people that work at the Art Institute across the street and at Terzo Piano.
We know what Tony Mantuano is all about.
Absolutely. I work for Tony Mantuano. He's an awesome chef, a great mentor. I love him, and I love the team that I work with at Spiaggia. And I asked some of the staff there and at Terzo to join me on the project of the calendar.
So when you sell the calendar, where do the proceeds go?
The proceeds will go to next year. I want to do it almost start like a paper process of a reality TV show. Launch a calendar every year and then have other projects branch from it.
Brian, I'm interested that you are here at this show because you are also a new chef in Chicago, and you just recently started at Terzo Piano.
Yes, Sharon, yes, I did. They just offer, it's a great way to network here at the Chicago Gourmet. I love volunteering every year. Like I said, it's a really great way to network, and I was helping them out the other day at the Hamburger and Hop, and they liked what they saw, and they're like, we want you to come work with me. I'm like...
So you got a job out of actually volunteering at this event, is that correct?
That's right, Sharon. I love working these events. It's such a great way to network, so it's the best way to meet the best chefs.
I think Tony Mantuano will be glad to have you.
I hope so. I've been working really hard, so...
Tell me what, from a chef's point of view, impresses you most about this show this year, what you're seeing that's new or different from before.
I love how every year it just continues to grow, and just the networking, There's so many companies here. Last year I got offered to go work in the Cayman Islands. So, every year it just grows bigger and bigger.
It's a great opportunity for young chefs then, as well as consumers, I would think,
Absolutely.
and established chefs.
Absolutely.
Jo Marie, you are founder of Nonna Santi's Biscotti, and you're only a business that's a couple of years old, and yet you've already been to Chicago Gourmets. I know that your business is named after your grandmother. Can you tell us a little bit about that inspiration and why you're here in this show?
Okay, my grandmother, she lived next door to me. She came from Tuscany, and She brought many of her family recipes that she shared with me, and we spent many days cooking and baking together. And I would make them for friends, for family, and it was mainly and for chefs. As a decorative painter, I do a lot of work in Italian restaurants, and it was really them that said, "Oh my God, these taste just like my grandmother's or my mother's from Tuscany." And then I just started producing them, and this is my second year in Chicago Gourmet. And
so why be at this show?
Oh, well, I love Chicago, and I love all the food and all the chefs that are here showcasing their product and the wines. And it's just a great event to showcase the city.
Do you find then you are selling and promoting these biscotti to chefs as well as customers?
They're mostly, they're made with some organic ingredients, so they're you can purchase them at Whole Foods and small Italian delicatessens, and we have them in some of the restaurants once in a while, the Italian restaurants. So they're kind of, we're just starting off.
So you find this year it is in fact a better showcase than last year for your product?
Last year was my first year, so I was overwhelmed being in the company of all these wonderful chefs. I was very intimidated. This year I've gotten to know so many of the chefs, and I feel more relaxed, and it's a great group of people. I've met a lot of people, and it's a very comfortable feeling being around everyone in the food business.
Well, it's a good move, we find, as an independent.
Yes.
So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Grazie, buona fortuna.
It's a wonderful show. And you're here in so many different capacities as an author, doing chef demos on behalf of Sea House.
Yeah.
This seems to be your year.
It's fun, it's exciting. First of all, I think this is the most gorgeous place where you can have a food festival. Look at that wonderful stage. I've cooked all over the world. I don't think I've ever cooked at a more beautiful stage than that. So it's very exciting. And it's fun for the city. Sometimes food fests are outside the city. This is straight in the middle of the city. So you have these wonderful,
you bring
part
up a
of
good
Chicago.
point. It's a great draw for everybody.
Yeah,
it's a real
great.
central focus.
It's a good day.
And you have yourself split between so many different places.
Yeah, but it's fun. I mean, it's like we did the books, we did a cooking class with my friend Kat, and she's always fun to cook with, and people were really, really excited about that. And then Chef Nicole and I from Sea House, we did our tasting over there where we did a wonderful smoked fish salad, and then I did my book signing. So for me, all of this is really a conversation, conversation with it's a dialogue with the public. And to be able to be invited and year after year, it's also a privilege.
It's an honor. Well, you also bring international acclaim, national acclaim, and Chicago acclaim to this event. So it's our pleasure that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Looks like a great show this year. We're hearing 25% increase in people attending. Tell us what's so phenomenally successful about this year and what you've been doing.
Well, it's all about the great partners we have. Last year we had the opportunity to partner up with Southern Wine and Spirits, and they really brought in experts from all over the world who have been providing great wine and spirits. And this year we had the good fortune to sign on with Bon Appetit magazine. So that's the reason.
We've been to their marketplace, and they're just jammed with people, and it's a great harvest kind of feel to the place. They're just loving Bon Appetit being a major sponsor this year.
And they brought in their entire team. So we have Barbara Fairchild, the editor-in-chief, Andrew Knowlton, their restaurant editor, and of course Kat Cora, their executive chef, and they've been, doing events throughout the entire weekend.
I do find also that Kat Cora has been a great spokesperson for the show as well as for what Bon Appetit is all about. She's doing a demonstration with Marcus Samuelsson, so I think that just brings a lot of zest to the event itself.
Sure. Marcus Samuelsson was here last year, and he said at that time that this was the most beautiful event he's ever participated in, and that's why he's back this year. But Kat has been working since Friday night. She did the hamburger hop for us, and we had two great chefs from Chicago win. Kevin Hickey from Four Seasons and Ryan LaRouche from Know Me. So we've had lots of fun, and I think it's been great for everyone.
Barbara, on behalf of Chicago, we are honored to have you and Bon Appetit here for this fantastic event.
Well, we're delighted to be here. It's just been a wonderful, wonderful experience, and today we have another great group of people coming in very early in the day too. I mean, it's it started at 12 and it's barely 1 o'clock, and here we are.
We saw the entrance and there were lines around the block even when the show started. You also have brought in some really interesting spokespersons and namesakes into this event this year. Tell us about your selection and why you did that.
Obviously it was wonderful to bring Kat Cora, who's our executive chef. She has such tremendous recognition really among everybody, thanks to Iron Chef and all of the work that she's done on television and other shows and many magazine articles, wonderful cookbooks. So having Kat here is always fantastic. Andrew Knowlton, our restaurant editor, who a lot of our readers know as the Bon Appetit foodist, is also here. But, various sponsors have brought various of the people on display here have brought people. Ted Allen was here for Robert Mondavi, and there are all kinds of interesting people. The Trelato family is here, and if you want to say thank you to the people who brought Santa Margarita Pinot Grigio into the United States, that's a good way to do it. And so it's just nice. It has a very relaxed atmosphere, despite the fact that there are so many people here. I heard yesterday 13,000.
It was up from last year. It's just an amazing showcase this year.
And people from all over the country, which I will say I'm sure they read about it in the magazine and hopefully were, inspired to come here.
Cheers to Chicago, the greatest restaurant city on the planet.
Cheers!
Attention, Aaron Kennedy.
Like a great wine, the ingredients come together at this fantastic show. Chicago Gourmet is now in its third year. It's just got the right formula. It's got the right recipe. Cheers.
You're watching the Illinois Channel, an independent nonprofit corporation formed to provide gavel-to-gavel coverage of Illinois state government and other public affairs events taking place across Illinois.